There is absolutely no justification for the operations and conduct of ICE. And whether you agree or disagree with that statement, I strongly encourage you to stick around because this video may deepen your understanding of the issue. There are three angles to this, which I will briefly touch on, and the first is the humanitarian aspect. Not only is ICE terrorizing our communities by taking people away from their friends and family, but they are placing them into private detention facilities where they suffer constant human rights abuses. These facilities are so inhumane that if I tried to list all of the human rights abuses that they've committed just in 2026, I would not be able to fit it into a 3-minute video. But just to give you a brief overview, these include things like physical and sexual abuse, solitary confinement, forced labor, unsanitary living conditions, malnutrition, and importantly, preventing access to life-saving medical care. No human deserves to be treated this way. Doesn't matter the color of their skin, their country of origin, or what languages they speak. Now, to frame the conduct and operations of ICE in a different way, imagine that the federal government put a $60,000 bounty on every person in your family. There's been no warrant for arrest, no judicial review or sentencing, but the federal government is telling these private prison corporations that they are going to kidnap people from the community and pay a private prison to house them for $60,000 per year. Now, it's already been demonstrated that these facilities that your family, in this example, would be locked in, subject them to inhumane conditions constantly. So what would you do? Would you try to intervene and stop this? Or would you stand idly by as your family is targeted unjustly by the federal government? Would you yield as the federal government awards $500 million contracts to private prison corporations as they continue these operations in your community? Now, even if you find this humanitarian argument unconvincing, there are two other angles to this issue. The next one is economic. Not only are these facilities unjust and immoral, but this entire operation is completely incompetent. To financially incentivize the removal of people from our community, whether they are laborers, family members, or neighbors, is foolish to say the least. Every dollar spent on the operations of ICE or the operations of these private detention facilities is a loss. There will never be any money recouped in our economy from these operations. It's actually the opposite. The federal government is spending this money to take people out of the community, where they could have been contributing as laborers or in various other ways. So rather than having workers or people contributing to the local economy in other ways, the federal government is spending money to make sure that these people cannot contribute. Not only that, but the opportunity cost of the money they're spending on this is significant. This money could be being invested in social welfare, things like access to clean drinking water or shelter or healthcare or education. Instead, the federal government is spending that taxpayer money on detaining people who are not criminals to keep them locked up in facilities where they're treated inhumanely. Now, the compounding effect of these decisions is extremely significant. Human society is currently an exponentially positive sum game. The money that we invest into the health and welfare of our communities comes back to the economy multiplied. You can see this if you look at various programs like debt relief, things like SNAP benefits, providing healthcare or UBI to people. Every single one of these programs has a net return to the economy that is greater than whatever was invested into the wealth. So again, why is the federal government providing a financial incentive to attack our communities and ruin the local economy? There will never be any economic growth from private prisons, nor from the pillaging of our communities in the form of detention of people who have committed no crimes. It's simple to determine that even from a purely economic standpoint, there is no justification for the operations and conduct of ICE. Now, for the legal aspect. As I mentioned, these people being held in ICE facilities are not criminals. Even in the case of illegal immigration, that is a civil infraction, not criminal. Yet detainees' civil and human rights are routinely violated at the facilities where they're being held. These facilities block health and safety inspections from local, county, and state officials. Last but not least, the rights guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution are guaranteed to all people, regardless of nationality, citizenship status, or immigration status. Doesn't matter. People being held in these facilities have the right to due process and a trial by jury of their peers. They are being held without being charged with any crime. whether you value human rights, justice, or the local, national, or international economy, there's absolutely no reason to be supporting these operations and every reason to oppose them. It is for these reasons that just in the last week, I've been to 5 different local events related to either stopping these operations in our community or helping people out who have been harmed by these operations in our community. Now, I ask you, if you don't support these operations, why are you not also getting involved and standing up for the rights of people in your community? This is just one issue in the United States right now, of many that we are facing. If you would like to learn more about how we, the people, can unify and create change in this country that benefits all of us rather than just the 1%, please stick around. Drop a follow because I'll be talking about this movement, the new social contract, detailing exactly how we can band together and create change in this country and around the world. Thanks for listening and stay tuned for more.